And we're live. Whoop, whoop. What is up, Facebook world, YouTube world, LinkedIn world? Here we are, Kyle and Jeremy. And guys, I'm pumped because if y'all know me, y'all know that I am incredibly ignorant in a lot of areas in my life. And I'm totally cool with that because what I do is I become friends with people that are really smart where I'm very ignorant. And therefore, it allows me to pretend to be smart, even though I'm not. And today is one of those days because I've got my boy Jeremy with me. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? What's going on?
And guys, let me just, I think the greatest way to explain Jeremy is he's probably good at everything I'm good at, but he's also good at everything I'm bad at. And so for those of you that have experienced any of my Pinterest classes, that's because of this man. Wait, where are you? You're this guy.
Right there.
It's that guy, right? He taught me everything I know about Pinterest. And so he has mastered so many aspects of social media and digital marketing. And so today is all about chatbots. And so guys, I got to just be honest. I mentioned this on our Facebook Live yesterday, Jeremy, but I've been very anti-chatbots in the past because it just they felt so clunky and out of sorts and robotic.
Right.
And as the organic guy, I just didn't want to be known as the organic guy, but also uses robots. But as most things, they've evolved. Right. They've gotten better. And so they're so human-like. They're probably even better at being a human than we are as humans. And so what I want to do,
on what store you go to.
That's true. And so what I want to do, bro, is I want to play the role of the realtor.
Yes.
And based on what I know as real estate agents, I want to just ask you questions and really decide. Like, I know chatbots can be good for this. But do they make sense for me as a real estate professional that's trying to buy and sell more houses? And so let me just ask you this first. What do you feel like is the most commonly used misconception that you hear people saying about chatbots that's not true?
One, that it's going to take over the world. But someone, because I want to jump over to the comments really quick. I'm totally butchering the name. Minta asked if we were on this. She said she was on the event page. She asked if she missed anything. We're just getting started, so you're good.
And we changed the way that we are producing the show.
Yeah.
So that we could reach more people. So Minta, that's on us.
It's all good. So, but yeah, with the chatbots, a lot of misconceptions think that that it's going to remove the human touch when it's actually just to support it. Because the biggest thing is that a chatbot only supports what is working for you. Yeah, if it's not working naturally, if it's not working organically, then it's never going to work on a paid campaign or anything that's going to optimize it. Because the oldest form of automation is delegation, right? And so when it comes down to delegation, you gotta document processes, you gotta document what's going on, so that way you can train somebody, do it with them. You can teach them how to do it with them, watch them, supervise them. Most of the time, like survey is not the right word, but to supervise them and just really disciple them. But when it comes to the chatbot side of it, it's where it'll come in to where it can help optimize any dead time. A lot of the time, there's a lot of busyness, a lot of urgency that people are, they need to answer these questions that people know that they've got to get into, as far as like where, with pre-qualifying prospects, for example, huge. And a lot of times they think that a chatbot's going to take care of all of it and then it'd be a silver bullet. But the truth is, it only helps to, remove some fractions of the redundancies, some parts of it, not to come in and take the place of the human. And that's the battle a lot of times when it comes to sales processes.
I want to get into that a little bit more here in a minute, but I want to go backwards and ask the first question that I think every realtor is going to be asking,
right?
Which is, how in the world can this work and not have to spend money on it.
Man,
because
right?
realtors are getting hit up by everyone, including me and you, right? For services that we offer that
Right.
we believe will add value.
Mhm.
But then you've been teaching me that, man, you can actually run a successful chatbot without pushing any ad spend to it.
Right.
So talk us through, like, how is that even possible, and what does that look like?
Well, I kind of bring it back to like, what is viral content? What is good content? And, kind of like bring it and reconnecting that to what you even talk about. Because with good content, I mean, what is an ad? It's content with money put behind it to target a specific crowd of people.
Right.
That's it. That's your buyer demographic. That's your seller demographic. That's your rehabber, the person who's in foreclosure, whatever side of real estate you focus on, whether it's from being an agent to being a broker to being into the overages side of it to being a flipper, whatever it is. And that's where, when it comes down to what is an ad, all it is content that speaks to your demographic.
Okay.
But with a little bit of a rocket booster behind it. But you got to make sure that that actually works, because how many people have you seen that complain about their ad accounts being shut down or whatever the case is? It's because they more than likely did not put in the time and effort or the elbow grease to find out what would work and what would not work. And that's why with ad campaigns, a lot of folks, they get put money into it to find out what works. And that's why a lot of that's why a lot of marketing companies that are out there, what they'll do is that they'll actually tell you something and then unknowingly behind the scenes experiment and try to figure it out while they pull in your money, which is terrible. I have genuine experience when it comes to owning a landscaping company to understanding from the ground up while I was part of a BNI. And so when it comes to organic content, kind of bringing it back to that, how organic content really works is based on human psychology and helping connect with folks, building the relationship. And so the chatbot needs to be able to connect with folks in a way to say, hey, look, I'm obviously a chatbot. Duh. You're not like, people aren't stupid. And so it's like introducing it and having the right introduction to asking the right questions to going to scheduling an appointment. And because a lot of times, if they don't have the right credit score, say you're an agent or a broker, they don't have the right credit score with the budgets, and they have a penny budget with a wine taste, right? It's like, let's go ahead and kick them out, or even reroute them over to a strategic partner that you may have who can help them with the credit repair and then boomerang them back over to you. You're always a resource.
So guys, let me break down what Jeremy just said.
Sorry,
because he sometimes talks way smarter than, I'm not going to say for you guys, but definitely for me. So
you guys drop any comments or questions you have in the comments.
Jeremy, what you're saying is, right, you can set up your chatbot in such a way that you can identify where the individual believes their credit is, and if it's under what you want to work with as your next client, it can instantly be redirected through automation to your credit repair partner.
Right, to either call them or email them or even ask questions on their behalf.
Guys, it's incredible. Guys, I think what I hate about watching our industry is I believe so many leads just get thrown out because they don't meet your need today.
Right.
So you don't know how to nurture. You don't know how to play the long game. And so you get rid of so many great opportunities that next year could be 30 transactions.
Oh, gosh.
But because they weren't ready to buy in 30 days,
dude, we got to hit on that too.
Threw them to the curb.
We got to hit on the follow-up. Like, oh, my gosh. I've worked with real estate agents and brokers for almost 8 years. And from different angles, from building like different types of the marketing ecosystems to even there's a program that I know that works it's like science for postcards and greeting cards. Real estate brokers and agents all like hands down boost a business by 20% in 6 months, and the follow up hardly ever happens. And I promise you, the common denominator between every single agent who is stressed out, who can't keep track of stuff, is they're not following up and they don't have a way to follow up. And that's where a lot of times they get bogged down by that, and they can't stay on the front face of it. And that's where the chatbot comes in, because a lot of times they get sucked into the tornado of answering all these redundant questions, all these dumb stuff that for like how people are asking. You're like, I need to pray for them. But like, let's be honest, because that's really that's where a lot of times that's where they get sucked into the urgency side of things, and they start to the important stuff starts to evade and get eroded, like not intentionally. And that's where the chatbot can help become that like that miniature gatekeeper on the front end. It's like, hey, hang on, how you doing?
But before I ask my question, guys, anybody watching, if you have a question for Jeremy, or if you have already used chatbots in your business and you want to just share your opinion, please put it in the comments, regardless of the platform. We will see it. Because Jeremy, my next question is, every realtor is going to go, bro, I am so busy. I am stretched thin. How much of like my own effort has to go into, starting a chatbot and then, using it across a season, across a period of time?
Right.
What sort of time should they look at committing to something like a chatbot?
Honestly, it goes into the sales process. So it's almost, I've had clients where they tell me, so when are we going to start doing this? And I'm like, you mean the thing we've been doing for 3 weeks because it felt so natural? They're like, oh, that awesome. And so it's really works around their schedule. So we build out the chatbot, have a 2-week turnaround time on it, but their commitment to it is actually effortless because the chatbot can take the place of sending people to, instead of sending them to the website. And so this way it can pre-qualify them and then bump them over to the listing of whatever's in there, whatever in the category, right over to their IDX website. And what's cool is that with everything that they've got, it'll actually help pull away 5 hours a week from their life instead of actually becoming a headache. So the whole entire goal, so the goal of it is actually reverse. So the whole point of the chatbot is to be to be dropped into and grafted into the sales process, and to be able to have some like really cool campaigns, especially if you have like an open house. You set up something like a Facebook event, which we have set up here. There's some other like technical difficulties we had, but being able to, I was telling Kyle about that, to be able to, I'm over here talking like you're not even here. Sorry, dude. But like we were talking about how that actually helps to set up, Facebook to tell who's interested in what you have. And so with being able to have different touch points like an event and being able to really pull people in, the chatbot can actually help like with qualifying them, instead of going just to the website and then you have a bulk email blast, because the chatbot can pull that stuff in and shove it straight over to your email too. So that way, what you got to do from Facebook or even from your website, it's going to help pull away from actually helping you having to be attentive or to be present, answering a lot of those redundant questions. And you may just have an intern. A lot of folks are starting to have interns or whatever. Like if they have a virtual assistant, this will patch right into them to help them even build the FAQ database, so that way they can pull back even more. So
let's talk about. I want to get Harvey. I'm going to ask your question. So I want you to know I see it. And we're going to talk about it because there's a lot to uncover in that. But let's talk about the vastness of automation, right? Because we can essentially, you can have a chatbot fire off from any of their platforms, right? Yep. So you could have it in a link tree. You could have it on your website. It's gonna fire off from your business Facebook page, right? So you can redirect people to that one spot from anywhere where somebody might find you. So that also kind of gets into, Harvey, what you're asking. Yeah. Even when you're referred, most people are going to go do a little bit of reconnaissance work before they just pick up the phone and call you or text you or email you. Right. And so even if somebody's like, dude, call Harvey, he's the best realtor I know, I'm probably going to end up on your business Facebook page just snooping around, and then boom, that chatbot fires up. And with an intentional series of questions, right? Because guys, what Jeremy does at a high level, beyond just knows this more than me and you, is there is a way to ask questions that doesn't make people feel on edge, that doesn't make people feel sold to, right? It's a song and dance that kind of, this is terrible and we're live.
No, it's really
it's kind of like the foreplay to the sell.
You're trying not to make it awkward.
I try not, but that's just like, to me, that's just what came to my mind is like, you don't just jump in the sack with people.
Right.
If you're married, you definitely should only be doing that with one person. But I think the chatbot, when done well, it truly is. It's really good foreplay for
Usually I can hold my
the
laughter
future
better than
business
this.
relationship.
When it's
Did I just totally ruin this entire
No, I usually can hold my laughter better than this, but but it's cool because it is exactly that. You don't ever want to go cold like turkey with it and straight into the sale, because like the way the chatbots are built, I genuinely have experience in the service industry. Like I was raised in blue collar. My dad had a tree company for 20 years. So I cut my teeth working with people. So when my brain goes into the chatbot side of it, we can ask based on whatever kind of criteria because that person needs, because every real estate agent, especially with referrals, there's different ways to build that out. And even too with a chatbot, to even give them their own chatbot link. So that way anybody who comes in from that one, even throughout the chatbot process, asking these different questions. Who did you who referred you to us? Very simple. But also too, there's other cool creative ways that if you have like a home builder or a really high-end hardscaper that does like flagstone pools, like different stuff like that. It looks really like real luxury, and you want to do like a live stream with them and they send people to you, they can use that chatbot link just to seamlessly send folks over to you. On the back end of it, you'll know where they came from. So referrals like that can work really well. And there's also stuff that we can do to gamify like posting and different stuff too.
So then I'm assuming, because one of the questions was, can you add it on Zillow, Realtor.com, etc.? Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming the answer is yes.
Yeah, and we can even tie it into Zillow to help with the home evaluation side of it as well.
Oh, that sounds fun. So I made a sex reference and we got off track from what I originally wanted to talk about.
We're adulting here. It's all good. I mean,
dude, how old? Like, I just turned 38, and why can I not have sex without?
I look like I'm 14. It's all good.
I should be more mature than this, but I'm not. So
it's all good.
Pray for my wife.
It's encouragement for me because I'm still deciding if I want to grow up or not.
That's right. So Jeremy, from an automation perspective, right? The other cool parts of a chat box is chatbot with the T is when somebody comes into chat, you can throw them directly into their CRM so that any automation inside of that can begin to fire off. Right. Can there's so what are some of your favorite automations that we can use to our advantage if we're using a chatbot the right way?
Well, the biggest thing is if you're using something to schedule appointments, whether it be like Calendly, Acuity, or something that's like with RealTrax or with KB Core that you already have, then we can integrate it straight into it via the backend, what we call an API. And so with that being said, as far as the API, we can ricochet things from one social media platform to another. Like if we get their phone number and their email, we can dump it. My favorite is because we can dump it into the custom audience is for Facebook ads, because what that means is it'll actually increase the reach, lower the cost of the ad, and help you actually with local, like really helping to like dominate locally to really reach those folks who are like that audience. Because with that whole entire process, with the automation of them just inquiring, no matter where they're at, we can set up on the back end to even send you an email, to send even send them a text message, update reminders. And so being able to include the Zillow side of it to help them to pull in the home evaluation is really fun. But making sure you have your own Zillow account is what's is important on that part of it. But what's pulling that personal information out and being able to help, of course, with sending emails to keep track of in their CRM, but also if they have a specific calendar. I love the double confirmation side of it. And this is something that's generated over 20 grand. This is for service companies, in 45 days using no ads. And these are appointment services that are like at $110. So you imagine the quantity of that, for free advertising, but also it wasn't labor intensive either. And so it's just all goes back to what you're teaching, what you're teaching folks as far as good content and just being consistent with it. But also too, the chatbot helps to serve as a stand-in for either sending them to the website or sending them to your calendar. So that way you don't get on the phone and they're like, I have no idea why I'm here. And you're just like,
I'll tell you, there is such a difference between, I use Setmore for my link for people to get on my calendar.
Yeah.
And we've been running some ads lately, and the leads that come in that just fill out a simple form, they're so hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
But when you add the little step of, hey, want to go ahead and get on my calendar, I feel like I close almost all of those people.
Yep.
Because now, like, I forced them to make a decision to engage with me.
Yep.
So now when I call, they're not like, wait, who are you? What are you talking? I clicked on what? And
Exactly.
so it's so powerful. Guys, if you're not using even just a simple, forget the chatbot for a sec. If you don't even have a Calendly type link where people can just jump on your calendar without you doing anything,
man,
you're missing opportunity. Because it's so simple. And so, Jeremy, people are asking, like, how often do you have to update a chatbot? Like, once you get one going, what does that look like?
It varies. It's Facebook has their updates, so you have to stay attentive to that. They can happen weekly or monthly, sometimes quarterly. But right now, especially with everything that's going on with politics and culture right now, one of the biggest things is just staying on top of it. But it depends on the campaigns. I always do. I love to set up monthly campaigns to really drive to something. So that way, folks, really, it's very simple. It's very straightforward. And, when it comes to, 2 to 3 closings more a month, it definitely, takes care of itself. But being able to update that and not have to think about it, it's definitely worth it. I mean, because we've got, hold on, I've seen some of the questions. How do updates need to maintain with the, okay. And so, especially with the Facebook updates, those are pretty standard. And then Harvey said, "No, we never past 14 anyway." So that's yes. But yeah, with KW Command, I'm not 100% familiar with KW Command, Laura. But when it comes to KB Core and tying in real tracks to different types of plugins and websites, we're very familiar with that. So that's where we can help to set up all of that as far as to integrate it into the back end, because we use different things like Zapier or API Nation to help configure a lot of that in the back end. That's where a lot of the real tracks and a lot of the IDX listing comes in handy. But I wish YouTube could, So with making sure that, going back to your question, sorry, I got off track.
Well, no, I want to. My friend Rebecca asked a great question about how could you utilize this tool with YouTube. So with YouTube, I know you've done that before. So, like, what does it look like to leverage this on that platform?
It varies. So it's really open-ended with the same mechanism. So there's mechanisms, and then there's, the ways to monetize it. One of the mechanisms is a URL link you can put immediately in the YouTube channel art right up at the top. We've got a massive YouTube channel that right now we're about to kick off with an automation that's got about 12 million viewers. There's different ones that we're going to put up in the top of the channel art throughout the entire videos as well. But the cool part is the chatbot, you can come up with a challenge. That comes really handy for people who are constantly having the same problem over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. We can create a different game to help with solving it and making it fun. And then the next thing you know, straight into your calendar. And so with the URL link is one of the most common, but also one of the most effective. You can come up with channel art as far as a QR code to help people take a snap of that. But the most common one that people are using is the URL link. That's going to be the most frequently used one.
And so you could put that can be clickable on top of the video, where you could ask a question and then boom, they tap it. It goes to your chat box. You could use it in the show notes.
Oh yeah, you can use it in the show notes.
And really in the show notes, Rebecca, you could probably ask multiple questions in the show notes that all technically take them to the same place.
Yeah.
You're just hoping that one of those questions resonates enough for them to click.
Yeah.
So
how can we pivot your offer, different ways, like a sphere, and so that way whatever clicks, they come in right over to your calendar.
Yeah.
Because like the chatbot side of it, when we've got up to 95% click-through rate.
Wow.
Not just open rate, but click-through rate.
Yeah.
And these are even too off topic, impromptu type of campaigns where someone seriously was on the way to speak on stage. We put together something, they raked in 100 leads.
Wow.
so especially with YouTube, especially with DIY type of stuff, like if you're doing a home walkthrough, especially even over on Pinterest, You talk about a home like doing like one home per board over on Pinterest, especially, and you tie that with YouTube, because that's one of the coolest things with YouTube is you can tie Pinterest and that together and have the chatbot ping pong back and forth. And so you can have it on the channel art for the URL, throughout the show notes, through any kind of like the outros, especially with those the thumbnails and also the frames as well.
Works really, really using well. Laura asked, are you using Google Forms in conjunction with the bot?
Nope. Because of the form, the bot will take care of the form. And also what's cool is that compared to a form, you know where they drop off at.
Okay.
Because if they drop off somewhere, that's where one of the biggest things for forms, that if they drop off somewhere, you have no idea.
You don't know.
Not a clue.
So you could have a question that's the culprit of causing people to quit filling the form out.
Every time. It's usually 3
to
5 questions.
That if you're using the bot.
Right. Because you'll know where they stop off at, and then you can go back one-on-one to talk with them right in Messenger, which is a game changer.
So it's not Black Friday, but it is Black Friday week.
Yeah.
And actually it's so weird now, like Walmart and Target are like, it's Black Friday month. Like Black Friday is like the most irrelevant day now.
Right.
Because like Amazon next year is just gonna be like 2021 is just the year of Black Friday. Every day is Black Friday. But we've got, so guys, y'all know I'm not gonna bring anybody on and not provide the opportunity for you to take advantage of a really cool opportunity, right? Take advantage of the opportunity to take advantage of the opportunity. Right, that was a run-on sentence for sure.
That was okay. It was like 4 or 5 put together, but it sounded like one.
We got there. Come on. You already talked about sex. What else is there to mess up about?
Armpits and who cares?
Who cares? Jeremy, tell us, like, what is it if, for the people that are interested, because I know you and I, like, we're going to start working on putting my own chatbot together. So this isn't just something that, like, I hope other people do. I mean, this is something that you and I are about to do for me. Yep. And so for those for people watching that see this as a viable opportunity for 2021, what does it look like for them to get a chatbot built by you guys and all that?
Well, normally we do $1,000 setup, but because it's all Black Friday week, and I know that people are traveling back and forth and they want to make sure that they get deals, we're knocking off $500 for it, because we want to help accommodate and really help folks with that. And I went ahead and commented with the page that you guys also can watch an interview with a service industry actually in Tennessee, that he actually shares his experience with about what his customers said. And that's key.
Very cool.
So the coupon code is Black Friday. And so just when you go through there, you'll make sure that you enter in the coupon code. And that way you'll be able to, it'll have the discount for that. And the next step is you'll be able to book your onboarding call, book it for next week. And so that way everyone can spend time with their family, and Cyber Mondays and madness and insanity is going to be happening as well. So we want to make sure we have enough bandwidth for everybody as well.
And then what does that look like? So they're getting 50% off the setup fee.
Yeah.
And then what does that include? Like, what are the deliverables? Is there a monthly cost that they'll also take on after that?
Everything's optional. This is a one-time setup fee, so this way everyone can have the chatbot functional, and they'll also get access to the strategy training that I have already in the back end of our membership. So they'll know exactly how to apply this. We're going to have our onboarding call, but we're also going to make sure that with that membership, they understand the strategy and how to market it, because we're only going to be able to cover so much on that first call. And so we'll make sure it's all set up, but the ongoing cost is $500. So this way we can upgrade it, stay attentive to it, provide the support, and make sure that everyone can keep moving and continue closing and continue selling. Because even too, with campaigns like Christmas, like New Year's, like with Valentine's Day, everyone's got their own spin to it, but making sure that it's all resulting in those deals that are closing. Because if we can maintain that, and you can have that to where it breaks cost for any hiring a VA, and we can dispatch things over to them to help them actually help with like any kind of emails, following up, then everyone wins. So that way, because normally it'd be $1,000 setup, $500 a month, but for Black Friday, we're knocking that setup half off. So that way to help with everyone who's jumping, because there's a lot of people jumping in real estate, and we want to make it super easy for them. But we're going to go through the phone scripts. We're going to go through the types of like, what are the top three services that they have right now, or where they want to be at. and go through the strategy of the promotions too. Because normally we're providing this, we're coaching people on how to use the chatbot, because it takes a while to get used to it too. You don't just set up and say, oh, good luck, you know?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like, it takes usually 3 months to get used to it. So we make that optional for people. And then that way they can have that, even whether it's for themselves as an agent, to even build it as a broker. You know, as a broker, to be able to use it for their agents to make sure that they've got what they need, and help the agents come in as even a support agent, so to speak, to be able to help answer questions, and whoever answers the questions the fastest gets the lead. You know, game fight.
True that.
So that's a really good way application to it.
Minta asks, will it teach us how to set up bots campaigns, or doing it for us?
Yeah, so that's part of the training. So we'll go through how to use the chatbot. We don't go into the technical build out side of it, but we go into how to use it the best and the quickest to get the most amount of sales into it. And we'll also touch on as far as the calendar setup as well. We'll help you set up Calendly or anything that you need as far as that goes.
And guys, what I love about this the most is that, you know, I love that Jeremy's giving us the option to just buy basically the setup of the chatbot. If you want to get in there, dig around, play around, do your own thing. But then also the other side of, you just want it to work.
Right.
And to me, it's worth paying the money if it works. Yeah. And especially on the real estate side, right, guys? Like when you're talking about, you're making, you know, $7,000, $6,000, $10,000 a transaction.
Right.
It is well worth $500 a month, so that the technical side of it is out of sight, out of mind for you. Mm-hmm. You just get to be on the receiving end of the conversations that happen in the chat. So
the cool thing too is that your strategic partners will love it, because you can even put them on there if they need additional services as well. Like updating and upgrading the menu for those different types of people, it actually increases the ability to have referral fees without even thinking about it. Which is great. You know, you go from 6,000 commission, or, you know, depending on what your cut is with whichever brokerage they're with. You know, it's great to ramp it up, you know, 2 to 3 times that amount, because I mean, you get a full driveway redo, not too shabby of a referral fee.
Yeah, man, no doubt. And so what I want to reiterate as we wrap this up is, guys, Jeremy said this 20 something minutes ago, and we just kind of breezed past it. Jeremy has watched a lot of people and their businesses recoup 5 hours a week because of the way you can be intentional with setting up a chatbot, right? So think about the time you've wasted chasing leads, the time you've wasted on the phone, only 20 minutes later to discover, oh, you just bought a boat yesterday? Yeah, you're probably not going to be able to get approved for a loan on a house, right? And you go, gosh, dang it, why didn't I ask that question 30 minutes ago?
Yeah.
This is what the chatbot is for. It is going to remove so much of the heartache of the sales cycle, because in most cases, we're the ones having to do the discovery of, are we even a good fit or not? And now the bot is doing it entirely for you. Which is an absolute gatekeeper. It is, yeah. It is your own gatekeeper.
Yeah.
And so, guys, I just, as the end of the year is approaching, and hopefully you're looking back over 2020 and thinking, from a marketing perspective, what did I spend money on that worked? What did I spend money on that sucked? And what am I going to pour that money into for 2021?
Yeah.
Consider this. Because I truly believe it's the automation that your business needs that will free you up to do what you're great at, which is close, right? You're a salesperson. And so I just can't say enough, bro. I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be a massive benefit for me and my business as we grow.
Oh, yeah.
And I just can't thank you enough, dude, for spending 34 minutes with me.
I appreciate you having me for 37, man.
So,
well, yeah, and that's man, I just appreciate our friendship. And we've been connected for gosh knows how many years, I think. And you know, it's
too long, too many.
It's only taken us 3 years to do live stream. It's no big deal, you know. And it's been,
no big deal.
But it's amazing to be able to be connected with you. And I know that, you know, within good company travels with good company. So it's been an honor to be here with you. So I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Everybody, thanks for watching. If we don't talk to you before, have a great Thanksgiving. Remember, workpressmedia.com/chatbot.
Yeah, buddy.
And I hope to hear from some of you guys that you signed up, that we're going to all be in this together, because I truly believe it's going to be awesome. So
I want to connect all the real estate agents and get you guys all in a group so we can synergize and have some fun on the content side of it. Once we get the chatbots ready,
we'll do that. I like it. So peace out, everybody.
See you guys.